Hello, the clocks went forward an hour last night, so it's now officially the beginning of summer, and that's traditionally the time when we sow our early potatoes. We plant the potatoes, but it's really cold and wet at the moment. Sun's breaking through, but the forecast is for a cold, wet week, and the ground's still cold, so if you're planting them in the allotment, in raised beds, outside, anywhere, the ground will be too cold, won't it? It's pointless, they'll just stand. But if you're sowing them in pots or bags, yeah, you could have a go. If you're going to keep them indoors for a while, perhaps stand them in a polytunnel or a greenhouse. Let me show you what I'm doing. Let me show you what I've been up to. About 10 weeks ago, I think it was, I got my early potatoes, and I got some store-bought potatoes. I went to the local co-op and I bought some Jazzy and I bought some Charlotte, and we've eaten some of them, but some of them I think we've set aside to grow on. Okay. Now at that time I decided that what I was going to do, I was going to repeat an experiment that I conducted successfully last year, but on a bigger scale. Last year I think I only had 2 or 3 plants, can't just remember now, but I'm going to have more this year, and that's the fridge potato experiment. So what I did was, I set some of the potatoes to one side, and I've stored them in the fridge for the last 10 weeks. I'll show you them now. Okay, that's Charlotte. You can see she's got some chits on. I've just brought a couple out, and that's Charlotte, and you can see she's got some chits on. But it's taken them 10 weeks to get to that size. Now if yours are on a windowsill now, I'm sure they're much bigger chits than that, aren't they? But these have been in the cold, in the dark, in a dry location, and the potatoes showed no inclination of becoming a potato plant. It's just too cold, too dark and too dry. And that was the intention, to arrest the growth of the potato, and I think we've achieved that after 10 weeks. Okay, now let me show you what these guys would have looked like had I planted them up. How about that? That is a Charlotte. It came out of the same bag as that Charlotte. If I hadn't did what I did, done what I done, did what I done, or done what I did, this Charlotte would look like this Charlotte now, but it doesn't. Okay. I've arrested the growth of these sets deliberately and for a reason, and I'll tell you that in a minute. But let's have a look at the roots on this Charlotte. Now, Charlotte's in this 3-inch pot because I had no room. I had a lot of these, and I had no room indoors to put them in the 10-inch pots and store them. So this is an interim potting, if you like. I think you can see we've got a lovely root ball there. So this is not a potato set now, it's a potato plant. We've got roots, we've got shoots. Doesn't that make it a plant as opposed to a set? We've got roots, we've got shoots, it's a potato plant. Molly's taking no notice. Look, she's gone to sleep. I'm not putting you to sleep, I might put Molly to sleep. So it's a potato plant. Now in a few days time this will be getting set into a 10-inch pot, and there it'll stay and grow on and mature into a full potato plant, and we'll harvest the potatoes. Now that should take till about the middle of summer. Okay, so in the middle of summer we know for a fact that when we harvest this plant, we'll have an empty 10-inch pot, we'll have a pile of used compost, and hopefully lots of potatoes, lots of delicious potatoes we'll take indoors and eat. So we know what we're doing with the potatoes, but what about the plant pot and the compost? Remember, we would only be halfway through our summer at this point in time, and we've got an empty pot and some compost. Well, we can't miss that opportunity, can we? We need to grow something. So what we'll do is, the compost that came out of the 10-inch pot, we'll reinvigorate it with some bloodfish and bone or some grow more. We'll pop the compost straight back into the pot, and at the same time we'll plant one of these guys. Now this guy will fire into life. It's his turn, or should I say, because she's called Charlotte, it's her turn. It's her turn to grow. So Charlotte will kick on. She'll have 2 summer months to produce another potato plant in the same pot using the same compost. How good is that? That's got to be worth a shot. If you've got some early potatoes that are chitting at the moment, you might want to consider setting some aside, putting them in the fridge and pulling them back out when you harvest your first early potatoes and sowing them then. It'll give you a second crop of potatoes from the same pot using the same compost in the same growing year. That's got to be worth a shot. Now, if you're in any doubts about whether any of this will grow, there are some videos on my channel and there are some links in the text below this video that'll take you to those videos. One will show you how to speed chit early potatoes, or any potato for that matter, how to speed chit a potato by starting it off in compost, and the other one will show you a fridge potato harvest. It'll actually show you what I returned last year, and that's the reason why I'm giving it another go this year, because last year was a success and this year I hope to build on that. Okay, so that's it for this little video. Enjoy the rest of your Easter. As you can see, Molly's enjoying hers, and if I can get out in the garden, I'll enjoy mine a bit more. So this is Homegrown Veg, signing off.